4. Hello to you, wonderful person who has chosen to bring me along for the next step in your Cajon journey. It's a very fancy way to say thanks for clicking on this video, but it is nice to see you, whoever you are, and welcome. I'm so happy that we can do this. So today, what I'd like to show you is a new fill, okay? And this fill is gonna be, I'm saying, funky and dynamic, which, I don't know, sounds like a pretty cool catchphrase to me, but funky and dynamic, that's what we're going for today. Now, you heard a little bit of it just in the intro, but the next thing that we should do together is start to internalize, right? Start to bring it up from inside us, the feeling of the pulse, right, that we want to achieve. So what are the accents doing, right? So why don't we do that together? And it's been a little while since we had this kind of like chanting vibe, right? So doom, ga 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 ga, that kind of thing. It's really important because if you don't do that, I think it's a little more difficult to hear the rhythms inside your head, maybe before or as you play them. And there's so many benefits to that, right? You can remember things a little more easily if you can also sing them, but also it helps you to kind of generate your own rhythms by yourself as you build up this kind of mental, verbal vocabulary for rhythms, as well as what you physically do with your hands. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? So let's chant this together. You can just copy what I'm saying, or you can use your own sounds. It's better if you use your own sounds, but here we go. 2, 3, 4. Boom, ga 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 da ga ga ga. Boom, da 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 da. Boom, da 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 da. Boom, da 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 da. So we've got a bit of an idea of our pulse. We've got that boom, ga 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 ga. We're gonna slow that down now. Now, sometimes I get a bit of a kick out of knowing kind of how slow a metronome can go. So I don't know if you have a physical metronome like this or a metronome on your phone or something like that, but at some point you've probably gone, what's the lowest tempo this thing can do? And for us on this guy, it's 30 BPM, okay? Now, 30 BPM, it's pretty slow. But we're counting in 16th notes, right? So we've got, where are we? Beat 4. 4, E, and 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and So even a really slow tempo like 30 BPM can start to feel manageable once you break it up into those subdivisions. So in this case, 16th notes. Why don't we play together now? And what you just heard in the little chanting session is going to feel a little different once we slow it down that much, but I'd like you to try and play it along with me now. So if you're ready, let's play it through. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so great. So hopefully you've been able to play through that with me, and if not, of course, take as many runs as you need. You can just rewind to that section, play it through. You'll get more and more comfortable with it as you go. Please don't worry that you didn't get it on the first try. It's totally fine. But what I'd like you to think about now, let's say it was getting a little easy by the end of that. You're like, yeah, I can play this, it's fine. What we can think about next then is dynamics, right? I'd really, really like to focus on that, especially at this speed, because you can hear it so clearly. When you speed things up, this stuff gets a little blurry, but we are so far zoomed into this fill right now that we can really analyze the little details that make the biggest difference when we speed it up. So one of those big things for us is the difference between your ghost notes and your accents. So imagine maybe visually you've got like a scale, like your ghost notes are kind of soft at about this volume, whatever this is, and then your accents are kind of up here, okay? Now, if you find that occasionally your ghost notes are coming a little too close to your accents, or maybe your accents are coming a little too close to your ghost notes in terms of volume, when you speed that up, it's kind of like blurriness, right? The sharpness of the image, if it was an image, gets a little blurry. The sharpness of the rhythm, again, it gets blurry. So at this slow tempo, we can really lock that in. So I'd even recommend playing this a little bit by yourself and recording it and listen how consistent were my accents and ghost notes, and was the contrast pretty strong? That's enough to think about on that for now, but if you're ready and you've done a little practice, why don't we go up to 50 beats per minute now?
2, 3, 4.
In those little groups of 2 accents, we've got a left-right, boom, da-da, and then we've got a right-left, ba-ba, and then we've got another left-right, da-da. But they don't perfectly line up with these quarter note pulse, right? This kind of underlying 1, 2, 3, 4 that we've been building up, right? So we're kind of shifting off and shifting back on, right? So we've got boom, ba-ba, 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 ba. Even doing that is a bit of an exercise. So why don't you try clapping along while going through that pulse? And you can feel there's that moment where, oh, I have to chant before I'm clapping, or doing this. Or there's that bit where, oh, I did it after, okay? So it's this kind of like slight tasteful destabilization of the main pulse that gives us that funkiness. And you can see at the very start of this fill, it's kind of in the comfort zone, right? With a boom, right on, right? And then we kind of shift away, and then at the end, ba-bum, ba-bum, ba. So beats 1 and beat 4 have an accent, like say on the beat. And then kind of in the middle before that, we're shifting away and shifting back. It's funky. Let's talk a little bit more about the dynamics as well. So as we start to speed this up, you're going to start to notice how difficult it becomes to play a soft ghost note before, let's say, the next accent, right? We've got boom, da 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 da. All those little soft single ghost notes, right? On either side of this ghost note, we have an accent. Those are the ones that are most in danger of being accidentally brought up in volume. Why? Because it takes a lot of reflexes and a lot of muscle memory to be able to quickly adjust from a loud hit to a soft hit and a soft hit to a loud hit, especially when there aren't many of those hits in a row. It's kind of like reflexes, as I said. So training that control over your dynamics is really, really important for this. Now, that's why this is not just a fill for you to learn, it's also just a bit of an exercise that I think you could spend a lot of time working on. So just looping this fill, you know, all the time that you're looping this fill, you are training so many different little layers of control, right? There's the syncopation stuff that we talked about before, coming away from the pulse and then back to it. But then there's also the dynamic side of it, being able to quickly adjust between your accents and your ghost notes. So again, if you're still practicing this, I hope you're practicing this, and maybe doing some recordings, right? Just use your phone or a little portable recorder. Listen back to yourself play this and see how you're doing on those fronts. How's the timing? How's the dynamics? That can be a really nice point for us to measure our success with this. So again, if you have any comments, by the way, leave them down below the video because I will reply. You know, I'm going to get in there and help teach whatever I can with this stuff. So please leave me a comment if you need some extra help with anything that you've heard in this video. Any clarification, I'm on it. But if you're ready now, we're going to go up to another tempo now. We're going to bring this up to 80, okay? Boom, ba-bum, 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 bum. Starting to really hit kind of like the musical level. So let's play through that together if you can. If not, don't worry, just keep practicing at the slower tempo for now and use this as a bit of an example. If it's difficult to play, but you're still kind of sticking with the video, thank you. What you can do then is listen very carefully to the difference in the ghost notes and accents in my playing, okay? I'm doing my best, but hopefully you'll hear. Remember those like little solo ghost notes with accents either side, the neighboring accents? Listen to them as I play. Boom, da 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 da. Those little moments. Focus your ears on them as much as you can and try to identify if you're able to pull off the same kind of thing in your playing, and then if not, hey, just slow it down. There's a reason I'm not playing it super fast in this video. I think 80 beats per minute is kind of a sweet spot for me right now. So that's also just really important. If you can't play it, just at least listen to what I'm doing and then try and you know, use that as a point of reference for your own development with it. Let's just do it. Here we go. So 80 beats per minute, playing through, looping the fill. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Alright, so now we're going to start to add a little more structure to what we're doing. We're going to play one bar of a simple groove and then play the fill. And we'll loop that over and over. Now, when you start to practice this, why don't you start off with one bar of groove, one bar of fill? That's a little 2-bar sequence. That feels pretty good. But then try and bring that up to 4 bars and try to go 3 bars of the groove and then just 1 bar of the fill. And then when you're like, I can do this, then go up to an 8-bar sequence, okay? So you play the groove for 7 bars, by which time, I don't know, you might have forgotten the fill. Then on the 8th bar, play the fill and come back around. And then, I don't know, should you? Maybe you should. Even try to go up to like a 16-bar sequence where you just play a groove and at the 16th bar, put in the fill. It's a really good way to start training up from repeating the fill every time, which is good because it stays fresh in our memory, helps us actually practice the process of playing it, but then we want to start to elevate from that point to somewhere where we can pull it off in a musical setting, which requires not playing it, you know, all the time. So there we go. Let's do the musical, kind of musical example, the looping groove and fill example. Here we go.
2, 3, 4.
Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed learning this fill, but you know, even more important than that, all of the stuff that surrounds it, right? The fill is okay, but you know, the really important stuff is, hey, are you listening to dynamics? Hey, are you aware of, you know, the pulse? Can you develop these kind of rhythms inside by, you know, verbalizing them, like chanting them out? All of that stuff's super, super useful as you become more independent, right? You don't rely so much on other people giving you ideas of what to play, you start to generate these ideas yourself. The more that you get, not just the notes, the rhythm, but the concepts around them help you become a great, unique, independent player of the cajon. So hey, I'm super excited to help you on that journey. That's what I'm all about, basically. So if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. You're going to get more of these kinds of videos whenever I can post them. And I also have a membership which has courses which focus in on these individual topics. Like there's a dynamics course, there's a syncopation course, there's even like a building your own little cajon solo course. Anyway, there's lots of these little courses. Please check them out also if you're interested. So thank you so much, for watching this video, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.